Hello guys, and welcome back to Sid Meier's Civilization 6 with the Gathering Storm DLC. This has been many years. If you follow my channel, again over the many years, I've played Civilization 6 was one of my most favourite games. I played it probably quite the most on my channel. I think I've done about 7 playthroughs of it, ranging from the base game when it kind of came out all the way up to the Rise and Fall DLC. So this is going back about 5-6 years ago now. And when I finished the last one, I think I did with Gilgamesh. And again, I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to check out, or check out my channel yourself. If you can do in general, just to, check out the other playlists that I've done on it. I think this was coming out, the Gathering Storm update. And yeah, I kind of fell out of... I was very upset with Thraxis and 2K and the way how much they were trying to charge for this DLC, because at the time when it kind of came out, it was expensive. It was extortionately expensive for what it added. Even though it added some cool new features, which was good, there were features that were actually in the Gathering Storm that was actually from the previous DLC, which was the Rise and Fall expansion. But it's because they wanted to keep some of the same stuff that you got in the Rise and Fall, so they needed to keep, obviously, give you it in the Gathering Storm update. So they kind of took certain updates and features and kind of added it also and sold it. So it kind of really annoyed me in a sense, and I kind of then put it on my wish list on Steam, and I think they were trying to charge like £35, and I believe it's still the same price today. It is on deal, I think it is. It's why I've picked it up. So you can get it for like a fraction of the price, now like 90% off, I think it is, on the Steam store, or wherever you want to get your games from. And yeah, it's quite interesting, I think, when you look at it, they're still trying to charge the full price when it's not on sale. It's not like the price has come down at all. It's just you have to wait for the Steam sales. Which is kind of a shame, to be honest, when you look at it. But here we are, we're going to play it. Again, this is the first time I'm actually loading up the DLC. I've not played it at all. Again, the last time I actually played Civ, I think, was in 2020, when I played, I think, a single-player game on my own. In between, I think, obviously, with the lockdowns and pandemic and all that type of stuff. But that type of thing, we're going to get in. So, I want to obviously go into a new game. We're going to be playing the DLC, obviously, because it seems kind of a bit stupid having the Gathering Storm DLC and not play it. We're going to go create a game. We're going to use the Gathering Storm expansion, and I'm going to use one of the new civilizations that they've kind of brought in. I think it's like they've brought 8 new civilizations, or 9 maybe, and then they've kind of added on some... There's actually one for... I think it's wherever it is on here. Let's have a look if I can find it. Eleanor of Aquitaine. You can play as either the French or British, or England, giving different bonuses. But the idea of Eleanor of Aquitaine was she was French. Aquitaine was part of France and all this type of stuff. You can play as both civs. So the idea, obviously, they're adding kind of new leaders to old civs to kind of give you a bit of a different flair, as you would call it. But the one I'm going to play for is... Let's have a look if I can find them on here. Now, it's weird that they kind of have the list of names, but it's not the names that I want. So I've got to try and find who it is I'm looking for here. Just bear with me a second, because I can't remember his name. It's Kupe. There we go. So Kupe is of the Maori. So this is the Maori... I don't know if you call it tribe or how you would describe them, but the idea is the Maori was a civilization or a cultural group of people from the... You would look at the more well known today is like from New Zealand, but there were a lot of their group of people kind of were spread out through a lot of the Pacific Islands centuries ago, and then obviously when the Europeans finally expanded out and kind of went that way and colonized, they kind of obviously encountered them and obviously took over. But Maori itself is one of the ones where they kind of was like more of not a seafaring nation, but it's that idea that they went on their boats and stuff and sailed around all these different islands in the Pacifics. Ranging from like New Zealand up to Papua New Guinea and all that type of stuff. So looking at where we are now with the Maori. So what do they get? So they get Kupe Voyage. Begin the game in the ocean tile. Okay. Gain a free builder and +1 population when settling your first city, which is kind of actually not a bad bonus, I don't think. The palace receives +3 housing. Okay, and +1 amenities. You've got +2 on science and +2 on culture per turn before you settle your first city. Oh, so you do actually, you're not losing anything while so you kind of quite nomadic, so you are bonused for being nomadic for a while. I guess it gives you the time so you can find where you are because you are in the middle of the ocean. You begin the game with sailing and shipbuilding, which kind of makes sense. With the ability to enter the ocean tiles and back, units gain +2 movement. On improved woods and rainforest are +1 production. Additionally, 1 production from mercantile, mercantilism. +2 from production from conservation. Fishing boat provide +1 food, and a culture bomb to adjacent tiles. Resources cannot be harvested. Okay, that's interesting. And great writers cannot be earned. Oh, okay, so if you're going for a cultural win, you can't get the writers. You got the Maria. Is it Maria? Maria? Building unique to the Maori, +1 culture and +1 faith to all of this city's tiles, with a passable feature or natural wonder. After flight is research, tourism to all the city tiles with the feature or natural wonder, costs no maintenance and has no great work. So I guess the idea is you want to go for a wonder nearby, I guess. To all the city's tiles with a passable feature or natural wonder. So if you settle near a wonder, I guess you get that with that building. Okay. Tower. Maori unit, classical era melee unit. Adjacent enemy units receive -5 combat strength. Can build the unique power improvement. So I guess the idea with this is that early on so it's good early on because obviously later down the line you lose that because you can't build it anymore. Unlock the tower ability to construct a PA unique to the Maori. Okay. Occupying units receive +4 combat defense. And automatically gain 2 turns of fortification. The Maori unit occupying a PA heals even if they just moved or attacked. Must be built. Oh, okay. Wow, that's... So it must be built on a hill tile, so you can't just use it on flat land. That's kind of interesting. Right, so, been a while. I actually kind of got down to like King Emperor difficulty, I think it was, but I'm thinking I'm going to leave it on Prince, which is kind of like your medium difficulty. We're going to have the standard game setting. Again, there's different ones you can pick given different time lengths. Marathon just means that everything takes a lot longer to research, so I'm just going to leave it again in standard game. Okay, maps. This is going to be the interesting one. So, continents is an interesting one. Gives a few large maps. We can have archipelago, we can have continents or islands, or we can go for Earth. I'm just trying to think what works for... So we've got Tilled Axis. We've got Terraria, which is based on made to start on the largest continent. That's fractured to Stakey continent islands, small continents. I think what I want to do is start and maybe go for archipelago, so try and theme it around the idea of the Maori anyway. I guess you could say I'm giving myself a bit of an advantage on it, but I want to kind of... I mean, have I used archipelago before on games? Not too sure. Fractured's a bit more of a different one. Lakes, which is the one that's in the middle. Mirror is basically flipping on itself on either side. Pangaea is just the old continent that we had from millions of years ago. Seven Seas. You know what? I'm going to go for the archipelago. I think it's just I want to give my... Because, again, I'm coming into it not playing the game in about 3 or 4 years. So I want to kind of give myself a little bit of a help. Okay, so... Small or standard? Well, I'm going to go for standard. So we're going to get... yeah, we're going to have the... So up to 8 other civs. And, okay, so barbaric clan. When this moving, I'm going to replace the standard barbarian types with a diverse set of clans, each with their own terrain. The mode introduces new player actions for peaceful interactions with barbarians that provide increased... Oh, okay. And this mode shuffles treks and civs with their own historic eras, leading to different costs and prerequisites than normal. The resulting tree are the same for all players. Oh, okay. So this basically hides quite a lot of the stuff so you can't... Because the idea, obviously, when in the old Civ games, is you used to basically, you knew where you wanted to go. You look at the Civ that you had, so you looked at what you needed, and you used to beeline it for certain things. This, I'm assuming, shuffles it around a little bit more, so there'll be certain cost differences. I think I don't want to spice it up too much. I think I'm going to leave the Barbarian Clan modes... I mean, that looks kind of interesting that you can have peace with them. Introduce new player actions for peaceful interactions with barbarians that provide increased street options. I think I'm going to leave that. I'm going to put that on. I just want to see what that is. I think that's kind of cool. And the disaster thing is... So, 2 is... Ooh. You know what? I'm going to put that to 3. I want to see the disaster frequency. 4 obviously is intense. So, 3 and 4, severe volcanic eruptions. But I do want to see the whole... idea behind it. I'm just going to leave these on random. I think that's probably the best option to have on this one. So we're going to go to the advanced setting and see what we can play around with here. We're going to have city-states up to 12. I think that's fine. Disaster intensity, obviously standard pool size. Leader pool, everything. So I guess you can exclude people. Oh, wow, yeah, okay. That makes sense. Standard resources. So I guess you can kind of go for abundant. It gives you more, but we'll keep just everything normal. And all the city-states you can have. Okay, so the randomness of the city-states is going to be quite interesting. Rainfall, sea levels, temperature. Again, I'm not going to try and do too much. I wish they had in the old ones Raging Barbarians, which was a really fun one. And it just meant that Barbarians were very much kind of like... they attacked you a lot more aggressively, but it meant early on you had to prepare yourself quite a lot. But it seems like they've not added that back in even after all the years, which is a bit of a shame, to be honest, because it was a fantastic feature in the games to have, that you could put it on in multiplayer games. And the idea is you had to survive against barbarians first, and then you dealt with players as you got stronger enough. But I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm not going to mess around too much with a lot of these settings. We're just going to try and do this. So I think we're pretty much set up to go. So we're getting there. I know it's been a bit of time me recording this for, so I do apologise. I'm going to try and keep it about an hour recording, maybe the first time, just to try and get into Civ, and then I might do some recordings later down the line. But yeah, we'll kind of see here. So let's get into the game, I think. So this is going to be quite fun.
From the first stirrings of life beneath water, to the great beasts of the Stone Age, to man taking his first upright steps, you have come far. Now begins your greatest quest. From this early cradle of civilization on towards the stars. Kupe the Navigator, you named the land of the long white cloud, and now you are called upon to settle new lands. Protect and honor the land and sea, just as your towers protect your people. The Maori will guard the world's natural beauty for all the ages after.
Okay, so because I've not played the Gathering Storm DLC for the first time, well, this is me playing for the first time. It's come up with this. Let's have a look here. So what have we got to play with? So, welcome to the Gathering Storm, Civ 6 Gathering Storm. The guide will introduce you to the new features, expansion, additional tips, information can find in the encyclopedia, which is great. That's fine. The World Congress is where, the one that was missing from the game that should have been there to begin with. One Congress where you voice a hermit of the civilizations of the world. It is also important part of the new diplomatic victory. Proposals are sent before the World Congress for a vote. There can be two types: resolution discussions. A resolution affects all civs, such as banning a luxury resource or gaining extra amenities from each type of copy. A discussion are political score competitions or emergencies that a member of the World Congress may join, like World Games or religious emergency. Members can summon special sessions if they have an emergency they need addressing, like requests for aid after a natural disaster. Okay. Diplomatic favour is a new form of currency in the game. Your diplomatic actions will earn you diplomatic favour that can be used in the World Congress to help you or hinder others. Okay. Diplomatic favour can be earned through alliances, city-states, of which you are Surazane, success in scored competitions, and more. There are major and minor ways to gain diplomatic favour through the game. Some actions will grant you large amounts of payout, while others will favour once and for all. And some will grant you slow over time. Try trading for other players' favour to strengthen your position in the World Congress. You can spend your diplomatic favour to extract promises from other players, call special sessions of Congress, and buy votes in the Congress, World Congress, or save up diplomatic favour throughout the game to pursue diplomatic victory in the later eras. Okay. So, diplomatic victory. When the World Congress is, there will be a number of resolutions available to determine. When the voter resolves, all the players will receive diplomatic victory points for each resolution that they could choose the winning target and option. Starting the modern era, players will be able to use the diplomatic favour of the World Congress to compete for diplomatic victory points. Win the resolution, bring yourself closer to victory, or prevent other players from achieving their own. Emergencies such as aid requests and World Games will provide diplomatic victory points to the players who get the highest score. Oh, so there is going to be like a table. Okay. Previous warmongering system has been replaced with the new representation of how players view your warlike actions, grievances. Now, when other players wrong you by denouncement, declarations of war, capturing or raising one of your cities, you gain grievance against them and may retaliate in kind with the world's approval. No longer will you be denounced for a fair, punitive city capture after an unjust war. Okay. You may also grievance to request promises from other players. If the other player continues to go against your wishes that you indicated in this manner, they will continually generate grievance that you can use to justify a war against them. Okay, so it's like a justification system. Casus Bellius, as they would call it. But the world at large still pays attention to the overall agreements that other players have against you. If you have grieved other more than you've grieved you, third parties will notice and then they can pass. So the idea is that it has, in Gathering Storm, the environmental around you is more important than ever. Natural disasters like floods, storms, volcanoes can pillage and destroy your improvements and districts, but they might refresh and enrich the land after they pass. From blizzards to dust storms, from tornadoes to hurricanes, storms are another challenge to overcome. Flood rivers may damage your improvements, but they might improve the food and yield tile too. Okay, volcanoes are high risk but high reward. The settlement's location can pillage or destroy improvements, districts, and buildings, and even kill or damage units. But the volcano soil is highly valuable and fertile, so yeah. Geothermal fissures are a new feature that provide benefits to nearby buildings, districts like additional amenities or tourism. Street resources have been divided into two types: fuel and materials. Fuel are used to meet power needs of your cities, whereas material resources are required to produce resource dependent units. Manage the power in your city to make late game buildings more effective. Trade materials, resources, and fuel with other civilizations. Changes will directly affect the world temperature and can cause rising sea levels. Some coastal tiles will be risked becoming flooded or completely submerged when the settling cities consider the risk of these coastal lowland coastal. But keep in mind that in the atomic era, flood barriers can be used to protect these tiles. But that's if you haven't been flooded before then. Burning fuel heats up the atmosphere, leading to the melting ice caps and rising sea levels. Your settlers will now tell you if you're building a city in a lower area near a coast. The flood barrier will help protect the city from rising sea. There's plenty more to explore in Civilization Gathering Storm, including new eras in technologies, civic trees, new historic moments, new global units, including the giant death robot, leaders and civilizations that synergize with new systems and more. Will your civilization weather the Gathering Storm? How will you rule in Civilization 6? And then I'm assuming you can find out more. Okay, so that's going through that one. So I do apologize if you've played the game before. So we'll kind of see how things kind of go off with that. I'll just have to kind of come back and have a look. Like I said, there's a lot of new stuff I'm going to have to get my head around here. But I do apologise. If anything you want to tell me, hints or tips, again, I've not played the Gathering Storm DLC. That's its first time, so keep in mind when you're telling me things, I'm coming at it from my new point of view. Okay, so Maori Empire makes history. So we've discovered shipbuilding, but again, that's because that's what we start with. So we get 2 era score on that one. So let's have a little look round then, shall we? So we start on the coast, in ocean tiles. And we also start with movement. So let's have a look here. What we've got. So can I choose a research straight away? I guess I can do. So let's have a look what research we've got here. So we've got sailing. So we're already kind of one turn ahead there. And we've also got shipbuilding as well. So we're really actually quite strong, to be honest, in the shipbuilding front. So it does mean we can build quadrimes straight away. But we can't get buttresses for a while. So we'll probably have to wait because we'll need mathematics, I guess, to get that from the tile that we've got here. So we can go for a astrology, which takes a bit longer, but would give us access to the shrine and the holy site. Or we can go for pottery, which would give us the granary, great baths, and we also allow us harvest bonuses. Or do we go for mining? Interesting choice right now. Again, I want to pick. I think this is probably a good one to go for. It is recommended anyway, just because it's a farming bonus. It's good for getting farming, so we'll click that one to begin with. But I do think once that one's researched, I then think about where I want to go next. And obviously the civic, I think Code of Law is the first one anyway that you've got to go for. Let's see down the line what's changed down here, because there is the atomic era and then there's the information era. Yes, this is the future. So we've got to wait for that one. That's going to be interesting. I think this is the space thing, isn't it? Yeah, okay. That's kind of cool. That's fine. Right, let's just get moving along. And I'll deal with stuff as it kind of comes along. Okay, road upgrades. And then, is that the... Yeah, that's the thing. So we can kind of ignore that. So there is a coast over here. So we're just going to move, I think... Can I move this turn? Yeah, I can. So let's just move this way and see what we've got around. Okay, so having discovered another continent, we realise there is a wider world of trade opportunities. So the good thing is we can actually move around in the sea Because one of the things is there is some civic bonuses you get from trade and discovering continents. So we've got an inspiration to trade boost, which is great. So there's different continents, I think it is. This one's classed as a different one to that one. That's fine. Let's just move down this way. So it looks like we're on the south end of the map by the looks of it, because this looks like quite cold. So it's either, yeah, we're on the bottom end of the map, aren't we? So we want to head north. So I'm going to keep close to my warriors here. I don't want to be moving too far away if I can help it. By the looks of it, yeah. So I think the map's going to expand more up this way. So we want to head north. We have got some turtles, some crabs, fish, and some fish down here. So that's not too bad. So I think that is why they give you the bonus of you get the +2 science, because otherwise you're not really anywhere that you can be at the moment. So let's just keep heading further north. So we'll head up this way. Try to see if we can kind of spot some better land. There is some... We are down in the tundra area, which is not ideal. Although it looks like it's getting a bit warmer up here, so we'll keep heading north. I want to find a nice area that we can kind of get into. I just don't want to be too long, because the idea a lot of people settle in the first couple of turns. The Maori obviously have to take a bit longer. So we've got elephants, which is good. It's a long snaky island here, so we might have to try and think where we can settle. So, we've got elephants there, we've got cattle there. It is tempting to actually just do that and settle it, just because we'd be able to... I mean, it's saying we could settle there. I guess it's because we get the amenities off each of these. So do we have... There is something... There used to be an option you had to select stuff and you could... Let's have a look here. Yeah, there were an option you could turn on things, and I can't remember where they are now. Power loyalty, what's it come under? That's this settler, that's fine. Got appeal. Oh, so this is Asia, America. We've got religion there. Yeah, there's the amenity options that I'm going to have to try and find. I think maybe they might pop up when I settle. It's the tooltip for having them show up all the time, which is, I think, very important. There we go. Yeah, I want to show yield. This is the big one. Some people have it off. I like to have it on simply because the fact if I want to see what yields are good and where certain things are good to settle. Obviously, it's saying here's a good place to settle because you get the crab. Oh no, the turtles. You've got the elephants. But I think I maybe want to settle here. But we'll see anyway. We'll take another turn. And I'm just going to try and move further up and just see what's up here. Okay, so there is a tribal hut, or a goody hut. Saying I could settle here, here, or here. I think probably there's a good one. What's it saying? So it's no fresh water, which is downside, but we do get resources, sites on the coast. We've got strong yields within 3 tiles, and likely to gain new resources as it expands, and it's close to a friendly site.